Hello, welcome to my full spoiler-free review of the new horror movie Obsession. I went to the early access screening tonight. So just in case you come directly to my full spoiler-free review, I'm going to do a very quick overview, and then I'm going to get into all the details of the experience and some thoughts. So the overview is you have this hopeless romantic who has a major crush on somebody, and he ends up breaking something called the One Wish Willow to win said crush's heart. And he gets exactly what he asked for. However, he soon realizes that some desires come at a dark and sinister price. So I'm Shay, and let's get into the full spoiler-free review. So, yeah, this movie was effing insane. Insane. This movie was crazy. And it's a movie that doesn't throw you into things right away. It's a very subtle thing. But this movie, be prepared. I'm telling you, be prepared to have your mind absolutely blown from the acting. Oh my goodness. So just be prepared that you're in for an absolutely unexpected wild ride. Like the trailer preview does not do this movie justice. Everyone that I could hear leaving the theater, like, that movie was crazy. It is insane. Like, let's sprinkle insanity on top of an insane cake, and that wouldn't even justify this movie. This movie was it was just unbelievable. So one thing that I really liked is, so I don't know if people have seen the trailer or not, the preview or not, but, you have a boy, he likes a girl, he is unable to express, it's like, you just want to shake him, and it's like, come on, just say it, and he can't, so he, ends up making this wish, and it's one of those things that you have to be careful what you wish for, but not just that. I find with a lot of these, situations of people making wishes is they're not specific enough. And it's one of those things that because people are not specific enough, it leaves things open to misinterpretation. And unfortunately, sometimes you are not able to go back on what you wish for. And the one thing that I like, so as I was saying in the overview, you have the One Wish Willow. He breaks it, he makes his wish, and the wish he has is, there's a reason why the movie is called Obsession. And it's one of those things that I expected from watching the trailer for, it to go from 0 to 100 right away from once this wish was made. But it wasn't. I really, really like that it's a very slow build towards insanity. And the woman that plays Nikki, who is the said crush, she was phenomenal. She plays psycho, crazy, obsessed girlfriend, lover, stalker, everything in one. She plays it so well. She does such a good job with her slow unraveling as the movie progresses. Because, like I was saying, it doesn't go to insane right away. It's very, very slow. So it's very much, it seems very innocent and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I was thinking. And then it gets crazier and crazier, and she gets crazier and crazier. And it's one of those things that as the movie progressed, I was just, as I was watching things, I was just waiting for, it's one of those things that you're kind of just waiting for someone to show up, or waiting for something to snap. And the unraveling, there are a lot of questions that I have about, the effects of this wish. I have a lot of questions about, is it like, what, when someone makes a wish, how does this person change? Is it something that takes over the person, or is it them just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really curious, because there were things that happened in this movie that it's just like, is that Nikki? Is that something else? I don't know. And this movie is very much, like, be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. And honestly, I cannot express the woman that plays Nikki. She did such a good job. Her acting, and it was like hot, cold, warm, chilly, and just when I think she has gotten to max crazy, she gets crazier. And, it's a slow burn, not just with her. It's a slow unraveling with Bear, who is the hopeless romantic. And, it's one of those things that I found myself, as I was watching the movie, I found myself, kind of like mentally yelling at him to be like, just say it, or like, tell them, why are you making excuses? And, and then also thinking, of, just if I were to be in that position, and how awful. And I just, honestly, it's psycho, crazy, obsessed girlfriend on steroids, and let's put some LSD in there, and let's put, a psychotic, manic episode in there, and mix it all up and have this person drink it. And, I wasn't expecting the way the movie flowed. I really, really wasn't. I was, watching the preview, sometimes you kind of have an idea of what might happen, but it was one of those that as the movie progressed, I was waiting for, things to happen. I was waiting for, this, based on, this action, the movie was going to go into a slightly different direction. And, the way it ended was very, very, very weird. It was not, I kept thinking mentally of what, something was going to happen. I was expecting, what they were trying to do, leading into the end of the movie. I was expecting one thing to happen, and I don't know. It ended in such a way that I think surprised a lot of people. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of videos talking about the explained ending, because it's one of those things that I can see people being unhappy with the way it ended. I can understand why the movie ended the way it did. There is no post-credit scenes at all. I ended up staying until all the credits were done. Because I was expecting, with how it ended, I'm like, okay, maybe that they're going to have something in the credits. They don't. And maybe they did that on purpose. Because, there was a goal through a large chunk of the movie, and, maybe that's why the movie ended the way it did. I don't know. But honestly, the acting was fantastic. The music also played a huge role. It was really, really funny. That's another thing. There were moments that were so uncomfortable and so ridiculous and absurd that you just kind of can't help but laugh. It's just like, there were really, really funny moments. And I was thinking as I was watching the movie that I wonder how many takes that they had to do for this movie, because of how ridiculous some of the scenes and acting and behaviors were in this movie. I'm also really curious how they did a lot of the horror movie makeup, because there's violence in this movie, but it's not violence in a way that you think there's violence. That was one thing that I was very surprised by, that there was violence, but it was unexpected. The acting, not just with the woman that plays Nikki, but also with Bear. His acting was great as well. It honestly, even the sets, I have to say, with how things slowly develop, this movie was crazy. It was really, really good though. And I wasn't sure about wanting to see it again. But I think I'm going to see it again, and then I'll be able to do, a full spoiler review where I can talk about all my thoughts and just get it out, because I can't do that with my spoiler-free videos, because I don't want to, give critical pieces away. I don't want to give, really any crucial details at all in my spoiler-free reviews. So I'm going to see the movie again tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to seeing what I notice. It's a movie that you kind of shake these people and you're like, communicate. There are secrets. People are not being honest. It's just, there's so many layers to this movie. And really cool thing, I was talking to two people as I was leaving the theater, and they were saying that this of was on a budget of $750,000. And I was saying that, all these movies that have been smaller budgets in the last year have been fantastic movies. And he was saying that, you can't tell of the small budget because they did such a good job. So it just goes to show that, you have these smaller budget films that actually give big budget films a run for their money. And this movie, I think, is going to do really, really, really well. I feel like it might trigger some people from their own personal experiences, but honestly, I do not think that there is a person in our world that would ever be at the level that we see in this movie, which I'm very relieved by. I think that's everything that I have to say. I'm still very exhilarated as anyone that has made it to this point and listening to me ramble. I didn't mention this earlier on because I was so, but yeah, no clips, no images, nothing. It's just me freestyling and just talking my thoughts, and but not in a crazy amount of detail. But yeah, no, I'm actually really excited to see it again tomorrow, and be able to actually talk about like details, because that's all I'm wanting to do is talk about specific details, but I can't do that in this video. So tomorrow. But as always, thank you so much for listening, playing in the background up until this point. I'm always very appreciative of everyone that actually sits and just plays my video. I'm always very, very appreciative of that. If you're liking my videos, you can hit subscribe, and then with that, you can turn on notifications, and, that's a way that you can support my channel. And then, with notifications on, then every time I upload a new video, you get alerted, you get a notification right away. So that's very, very cool. If you like my videos, I would love a like. If you feel like this video is worthy of a share, you can share, you can comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. How was my review? What did you think of the movie? Were you also blown away? I would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, until the next one, which will be Obsession tomorrow. So until then, thanks so much.